Hello and welcome back to Become a God, the last episode of this week, episode 6. We are going to be taking blue-red Gemshell for another spin. The one thing I would advise when climbing the ladder, if you're looking to get ranks up, is it's usually good to stick with one deck, especially if you can get some wins with it. If you get by a 50% win ratio with it, keep at it because you can keep that win rate up and push it up if you keep playing, because you get more experience with the deck, become more consistent with it, and that will convert into stars, which will eventually convert you into ranks, and you'll be able to climb the ladder. So when you're climbing, just think about, what deck am I good at? Which deck is going to help me get up to God rank? And for me now, it's blue-red Gemshell. I've played this deck for 4 episodes so far, and it's been performing very well. So I want to keep at it. I want to try and get to God rank with this deck because of how well it's performed so far. So let's get into some games. Let's hopefully climb some more ranks and get closer to God rank. Alright guys, into our first match. As you can see, I had a couple of games earlier and kind of went up and down for my warm-up. Oh man, this is an interesting hand. I'm hoping to keep up the wins and get to God rank. That is the plan. I don't think I'll be able to get to God rank this episode, but I'll definitely get a lot closer to it. Let's go for the Ogre Dance first. Hoping to hit the Bold Bargainer there. I guess I could have Bold Bargained, but if I had Bold Bargained into the Ogre Dance, it would have been good value. I wouldn't have been happy with that. Explore. Oh, it's going to be a Rush deck. Red Rush potentially? So the starting mountain could indicate to me that this is either going to be a Boulder Thrower, maybe a Flamethrower. We'll see. Just pass for now and see what happens next. If it's a Flamethrower, I'm probably in a decent position because I can just Garadan. Brigand's pretty good because I can Garadan that. Gift of Steel's pretty sad because then I can't Garadan it. I really want to play this Garadan. But I think I'm just going to take a risk here and play the Bold Bargainer. And go from this. Because then I can line up the Garadan next turn if the Brigand goes into my Bold Bargainer, which I doubt it will, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this Brigand's just going to hit my face. No, it actually takes a draw. Very interesting. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Wasn't expecting that. Another Brigand. Alright, let's take this lake. We'll get old Gary down. And the next turn we can maybe set up Magnus. We're almost there to our Gemshell Tortoise, actually. Magnus can charge from here. But Magnus is still a solid defender. Especially against Red. Red just has to run stuff into this or just play a lot of removal from hand. So if my opponent decided to go for the removal option of taking care of Magnus, I'd be pretty happy with that overall because it's getting lots of cards out of my opponent's hand, especially to like Flame Bursts, which could go to my Orb. I'm going to move Garadan into the cheeky double collection position. Then we'll go for the King. We'll take our last lake as well. So now we're set up to have the Gemshell Tortoise come down, which is pretty good, which means I don't need to invest in any lands for a little while, unless I get Garadan onto this spot, and then I can play an aggressive mountain to set up some Ogre Battlers or Ground Shakers for the future. I'm curious how this is going to be answered. Are we going to see a lot of removal from hand? Maybe like double Flame Burst and hit into it, which would be even fine for me. As long as I get some value out of this, I don't really mind. Like one draw off this, as long as it doesn't hit Divine Guardian, is really good. well, as long as it doesn't hit Divine Guardian, Emperor's Command. I'd even settle for an Ogre Dance. If I hit an Ogre Dance off the king, that's pretty good. You know, it's not bad. This is a 0 cost, reduce something in my hand by 7. Ground Shaker, okay. Emperor's Command. Interesting. Okay, that's... So I can double collect with this. I can then preemptively... Oh, well, I can actually Emperor's Command this first. Then hit into this. Take a draw. Speaking of Ogre Dance, I'll play that now, actually. That's pretty good. Go for the Firestorm. And that's just going to be a surrender there. The thing with this deck, if Rush gets ahead, it is really difficult. If Rush doesn't get ahead, it's really difficult to come back, especially if you get some good snowball. Alright, so first win. Not looking bad. Not looking bad. I think I played pretty well there. But I also think everything kind of lined up for me, you know. I had the Garadan getting reduced, the Brigands came down. So, yeah, it was a pretty good match overall. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable against Rush with this deck, so I'd actually prefer to play against a lot of Rush decks. But let's get into our next game, and let's see how we perform. Alright guys, into our next match. I'm going to full mulligan this. We did pick up the Ground Shaker, that's not too bad. I was a little concerned there, having a full mulligan. Thought I might not get a Harvester, but pick up the Ground Shaker, so I'm feeling pretty happy about that. And starting second here is pretty good for us if we pick up the Divine Guardian, because it'll allow us to build it on the other side. Ooh, Big Bad Burden Force showing up already. Taking no prisoners. Can't actually deal with this right now. Ground Shaker's not going to be enough. Do I develop Ground Shaker on the opposite side then and try and line up Gemshell Tortoise to fight this? Yeah, okay, I'm going to try that. Let's try with the side switch. I want this to collect. I want this to collect as much Faeria as possible. I'm expecting my opponent to continue to push down this way, so one thing I want to counter that is by keeping my Harvester out of harm's way. That's the plan here. Hit the Windfall, very nice. That's the card I want to hit if I have my Ogre Dance in this situation, because I'm not going to be able to play the Gemshell Tortoise straight away. So hitting the Windfall is just going to give me that burst of Faeria I need to make sure I can defend Horsemaster. I'm expecting a Horsemaster just to rush this down. It's going to be a Grove Guardian. Okay, Mono Green can be quite difficult for this deck because you need a lot of AoE removal to line up, which can be a problem. So we're going to start making sure we can defend from this region. Go for the Windfall. I'll go for the Ground Shaker. So I'm just demanding a buff from my opponent. I want to get the buff out of my opponent's hand now to know what I'm dealing with. Just expecting maybe an Elderwood Embrace to come on here and then run into this. Hopefully we'll pick up maybe a Firestorm or something like that. Yep, Elderwood Embrace. That's to be expected. Right, Firestorm actually not going to be enough, which is kind of sad. So I think we just have to keep building towards Gemshell. I'll move this across to kill the Grove Guardian if it comes into reach. If an Elderwood comes down, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble because the Firestorm's not going to be enough. Feed the Forest on the Willow. Nice burst of economy there, along with a bit of card draw. Like I said, I'm hoping there's not an Elderwood Embrace. Any Any other power-up I should be able to manage quite well because of the Firestorm, but extending this by 4 life is a problem right now. Takes another draw, so I think maybe digging for that Elderwood Embrace. Oh, that's a good move for me, actually, because it means that I can put the Gemshell Tortoise in front of the Verdant Force. I guess my biggest concern now is a creature coming here. Like a Faeria Golem. Like a Faeria Golem here is pretty bad for me. Yeah, not looking good, is it, guys? I've got double Firestorm. I can kill these two. Puts a dent into this. But I still die in 2 turns' time. This is going to cost me 12, which will leave me on 4 Faeria. If there was no Elderwood Embrace, I could clear the board, but the Elderwood Embrace kind of tipped us over the edge a bit. I'm just wondering if it's worth Gemshell Tortoise. What could I find instead? More Firestorms, I guess? If I Gemshell Tortoise, probably still won't be able to do enough because I'd need more than that. I'd still need like 12 Faeria to get things going. So I have to double Firestorm now to survive. I might be banking on drawing another Firestorm to finish this off. So I'm going to leave my Ground Shaker here, which I'm not too happy about, really, but I feel like it's necessary because I might be relying on, like I said, that Firestorm to deal with the Faeria Golem. We could just play a Wood Elemental or a Willow, which is a problem. Now, Ogre Battler's not a bad pickup if this was a mountain, which it currently isn't, unfortunately. So I guess we just go into Gemshell. I don't think there's anything I can pick up apart from Divine Guardian. Yeah, and that is going to be game. So quick loss there to Mono Green. Mono Green can be a big problem, literally, with its creatures. You know, like I said, if my opponent didn't have the Elderwood Embrace in that situation, I would have been able to clear the board. But Faeria Golem plus another Elderwood was a bit too much for me to handle. But yeah, a little unfortunate. This matchup can be quite bad, especially if I don't pick up Divine Guardian, because Divine Guardian's a way I can stay in the match. So if I had a Divine Guardian down, I could have played the Gemshell quite happily, just hit into the Willow, and then Divine Guardian would have been cracked open by the Faeria Golem, and then I would have had another turn to do something. But didn't find that Divine Guardian, so a little unfortunate there, but it happens. Let's get into the next game. Alright guys, another match with a very strong opponent, rank 15 god, so climbing up up the ladder there, trying to get into the top 10 slots. And I picked up the Divine Guardian this time, so feeling pretty good about that. And the Earth greets me. Taram versus Magda. I think Taram wins this, he is a giant tree. Ooh, rush time. What type of rush deck are we playing against? That's always the big question. I have 2 Archons, which are pretty good. If I'm going up against maybe Yellow Rush, you know, because these can trade with Shaitan Demons. Green Rush is the one I'm most concerned about. I feel like I can handle Red Rush and Yellow Rush. It's just Green Rush can kind of tip me over the edge a little bit because all the power-ups we saw in the previous game, you know, Mono Green being able to just pump their guys is really difficult for me because I have to invest a lot to clear high life boards. So I'd go as far to say that Mono Green is probably one of the worst matchups for this deck. So if you are playing against a lot of Mono Green on ladder, wouldn't recommend taking this deck for a spin. Then my opponent's considering what to do next. It might not look like there's a lot to consider, but there is the Explore. So double neutral first off, explore into special land, explore into double neutral into neutral creature. Gonna be a mountain, okay. Into the axe grinder. Okay, so now I can stick the Archon in front of this. The Archon then trades with the axe grinder, and the Divine Guardian lives to tell another tale. Unless I get hit by double Cypher's Wrath now, which would be a little sad, but I'd be able to manage with it, I think. Double Cypher's Wrath clears this. Then I can just put an Archon on the other side. Let's take the clear, okay. See what comes down next. Maybe a combat creature? No, it's just going to be a ground shaker, okay. Imperial Drain, alright, so now things are going to get interesting because this card is a problem for me. So I'm not collecting any Faeria, so I don't know if I even want to invest in the Archon right now. I think I just try and build to the other side while this drain is going off. I'm curious to see what my opponent does. He could move here and make a special land, but does decide to take out the Divine Guardian now rather than later. Crumbling Golem. This is a lot of damage coming towards me. Magnus is not bad. If I play Magnus, Imperial Drain gets destroyed. I'd have to go for a mountain if I want to go for Magnus, because I want to be able to Firestorm on the follow-up. Now, I'm not sure what's better here. Is it waiting for the Gemshell better? Probably not. So, I will take my other mountain, and I'm going to play the Magnus down. So now I'm able to collect Faeria on the follow-up, and this will allow me to +1 into Firestorm if Magnus doesn't die. That's kind of the plan here. I'm hoping Magnus gets some value, but it could already be over. This is a lot of damage for me to deal with. And I do have some poor procs off Magnus. Well, I mean, Divine Guardians would be sad, but it's not the worst thing. Grimguard. Okay. See what this brings us first. It's not bad. That is not bad at all. Okay, so now we kind of do need a Firestorm here. I'm still going to take 4 damage, so I'm still dead to Flame Burst, but yeah, I'm hoping that isn't going to be the case. Oh, Gift of Steel is also lethal. Yeah, and Flame Burst to finish things off. So Red Rush taking me down this game. I had a good match against my previous Red Rush opponent, but this game, the combination of Crumbling Golem Ground Shaker was a little bit too much. It was actually the Imperial Drain that really helped my opponent there, because I wasn't able to harvest any Faeria. I needed additional Faeria to make more plays. I needed to be able to ideally make another mountain, play the Ogre Battler in this position here to taunt up these 2 creatures, and then, you know, maybe follow up with a Gemshell on the next turn, but not looking good so far. I've not been having a good day on ladder, but we'll keep going, and hopefully we can get some stars. Alright, another game. Hopefully not another rush. You know, I was saying I'd be happy to take on all rush decks, and to be fair, I still feel that way, but that particular build of Red Rush was very difficult to deal with. Looks like we might have to start off with an Archon here. We can wait on the Windfall, actually. We can go Mountain, Lake, and then Windfall. and then play Archon. Double neutral. Wood Elemental. So we played against green before. Looks like green is coming back to haunt me. The combination of these cards would be pretty good. So I go Lake, Windfall, Archon, and then try and line up an Ogre Dance to get my battler going. I think that's the plan here. Verdant Force. Not a card I want to deal with right now. I'm thinking of taking a lake here so my Archon can travel this way and hit the Verdant Force when it gets here. If I take a lake here, I'd have to play the Archon in here. Or I'm just developing land for my opponent. So I am going to take a lake here. And then next turn, I'm going to mount in. So let's say a forest comes here. Probably just mount in on this spot. And then lock this in. Oh, it's going to be ruining. It's not what I wanted to see. Maybe this is a turn for Magnus. If only I could dance and then decide. I guess I could dance first. I'd like to get value out of this now. Let's go for the Magnus. Archon's online now as a 6/6, so that's pretty good. See how my opponent answers this. I'm Elderwood Embrace, once again, a card I'm absolutely terrified of, because pushing this up to 4 life puts out a Firestorm, pushing this up to 4 life puts out a Firestorm. Oh, Elderwood Embrace. Ah, this card. So powerful. Bold Bargainer, okay. So I think the plan is just clear the Runin with the Archon and then just play a Bargainer on the here. Is he going to feed the Wood Elemental? The move here is actually pretty good because it stops me from moving onto this land, blocking the Verdant Force, which is what I want to do. Alright, let's rock and roll. Let's go over here. Clear Runin. Don't hit the Yoga Dance. Hits the Yoga Dance. No, it didn't hit the Yoga Dance. Okay. So now we can pass and line up Garadan for next turn. Sagami Grove Caller. Clear out our friend Mr. Archon. Ground Shaker would be an amazing draw right now. I think I'm going to go for it. Let's take the Ground Shaker if we can get it. No, another Ogre Dance. Not helpful at all. So I play the Ogre Battle and my opponent just clears it out in one hit, and then we'll probably just play Runin again as a 6/6. I think I'm mostly okay with that. Because if I get a good bargain, I could follow up with a battler. So just play another battler into a 6/6, which would work out pretty well for me. Although if there's another Alduin Embrace, I'd probably just lose. Like another power up here is insane. It does have to trade. Okay, have a little bit of breathing room now. But like I said, I'm expecting Runin to just come back down as a 6/6. Yeah. Okay, that kind of plays... I predicted this was going to happen, right? This doesn't dash onto my mountain, I can just block it. I am rolling the dice, though. Ugh, come on, game. Why? Why do you hate me so? Okay, well, Garadan's just coming down. Oh, see, if I play Garadan now, he just replays Runin on the follow-up. I'm just gonna have to pass. I'm really disappointed in that. Of all the cards to hit, like, hitting Ogre Dance would have been fine. Can I just Ogre Dance again? Had to hit my cost reduced card already. That was the waste of a turn there. Hits me for 6. Follows up with a Faeria Golem, great. Not a lot I can do about that. My options are very limited right now. Alright, gotta hit one of these battlers if I want to live. I do hit one, okay. So Battler's going to keep me alive, but I think I'm more or less just delaying the inevitable here. Mono Green's such a bad matchup. Like, there's no other way to say it, really. This is just an awful matchup. It's just so difficult. It's so much work for me to kill anything with Mono Green. Against most other decks, you know, I can use the AoE removal. I can just use my creatures, it's absolutely fine, but... Look at this, how do I ever answer this? That's what if you remember in one of our previous episodes, we played a mirror, and my opponent was running Frogifies. This is the matchup which would be better. You know, that's a matchup for blue-red which would work out better. Because you're going to have answers to these Faeria Golems, but there's just nothing I can do against this, unfortunately. It's just one of those matchups. And I was saying at the start of the video, you know, it's always good to stick with your deck, you know, make sure you keep climbing. I am going to do that today, as tempted as I am to switch now after I've played against Mono Green twice. If I switch, I'm probably just going to play into another bad matchup. It just seems to happen in card games. So you're going to keep with this deck. I know things haven't been going too well so far. But yeah, we'll keep going on. We'll see what we can learn about this matchup. I don't think there's a lot I can do, really. If you guys have any suggestions for how to play against Mono Green with this deck, I'm more than welcome to hear them, because right now it's looking pretty unwinnable for me. If there's any adjustments I can make to give me some leverage in the game, then I'm all ears. So guys, get those comments down if you have any thoughts on this matchup. Be sure to let me know. But let's get into another game, and hopefully we're not going against Mono Green. Alright guys, probably going to be the final match of this video. Pick up the Ground Shaker. We do have a turn to Collector. Let's see what our opponent has in store for us. Like I said, hopefully not Mono Green. I don't want to go for that torture again. A desert. Explore. Into a Mace Man. So some form of yellow tempo by the looks of it. Okay. So I'm going to put the Ground Shaker on the opposite side, because now I can line up a Firestorm. And there's a lot of things in yellow tempo that die to a Firestorm. Fanatics, Manta Riders, now this Mace Man. So I'm happy to kind of keep this as a safe collector. And try and line up this Firestorm. Have 3 Ogre Battlers. I'm hoping I draw some bargain cards, because my problem with drawing 3 Ogre Battlers against yellow is Last Nightmare. Just good, clean, hard removal to take care of it. Which I'd rather not deal with right now. Right, Manta Rider. So my opponent is going to collect quite a bit of Faeria here. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to move this back. I'm going to wait. Playing a bit of random mobility trick here to get to my ground shaker. And I want to windfall first because I want to make sure that I can enable my Archons. So I'm playing a little greedy here, I must admit. But the goal is that I'm able to get my Archons online and get things going. Now I'd much rather pick up a Garadan in this situation. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. We'll go for Windfall first. 7. So I'm still able to play both of these. So let's see what we get. And it is going to be the Ogre Battler. That's fine. We'll go for the Firestorm. Then we'll just relax. I don't want to develop this Ogre Battler just yet. This comes down to collect. I can finish it off with the Ground Shaker. One of the things that's really powerful about Manta Rider, you know, is the fact that once it dies, it does produce another creature, which can then start collecting. Which would be a massive problem. Face Man, gonna leave this up here. That's fine. Okay. Let's go for a draw. Emperor's Command. This doesn't help me just yet. So sticking the big old Ogre Battler in front of my orb here just to stop some damage. And maybe just try and get a last nightmare out of my opponent now rather than later. I can Emperor's Command the Mace Man to finish that off. Or if I draw a Ground Shaker, I can finish it off that way. Really, what I'm looking for are the Gemshell Tortoise. Gemshell Tortoise is going to be really helpful because it's going to give me hand advantage at a reduced cost, which can be very important. So I'm hoping, yeah, I'm hoping to pick up those Gemshells. Goes for the hit. Into the Manta Rider. Speak of the devil. Now, I'm thinking that I think I want to get Ogre Dance value. So I'm going to do this. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Divine Guardian is pretty good here. I am a fan, because now I can just do this. And use a Divine Guardian to soak up the Windstorm Archer. Goes for a draw. There's a little poke at the Guardian with the arrow there. Gonna move back into an Emissary. Interesting. Alright, let's take a draw. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the Firestorm now. I have such a massive board advantage. I feel like I'm pretty safe to do that. My opponent does have 12 Faeria to work with, but yeah, that's fine. I've regained board. Try and force some heavy removal out of my opponent's hand now. I'm just gonna scoop there with a surrender. So that was quite a quick match. I feel like we should have one more before we wrap things up. So let's get into one final game and then we'll conclude this episode. Alright, final game. Let's see how this goes. I could try a Windfall Archon. So I would take 3 turns to set this up, but it might be worth it. I'm not sure. You know what, let's try something new. Let's try the Windfall Archon opener. I got the Ogre Dance back somehow. Absolute madness. Green, okay. So hopefully not mono green. We can find that out a little later. We'll go for a mountain. We'll see what happens. Ooh, another forest. Is that a wood elemental? That's a Verdant Force. Oh my goodness. I'm being haunted by mono green today. It's absolutely tearing me up. Okay, we'll take the lake and we'll pass. So we'll gear up for the windfall next turn. Okay. I'm so weak to Horsemaster, and I'm quite relying on the fact that my Ground Shaker is going to chip away at this. So do I put this on the other side? I think so. The thing is, I want to play Archon, then I want to like Battler into Ground Shaker, make this a 6/6 and then finish this Verdant Force off. So I am going to take the risk here. This is quite a risky play, but we need to try something. We need to experiment a little bit in this matchup to figure out what works. Do we have to take high risk, high reward plays like this? Like I said, I'm playing straight into Horsemaster. And my opponent does have it, unfortunately. Right off the top as well. So that was a top deck. Into Tiki Caretaker. Okay. So Cappuccino has been playing some mono green on stream recently, and this is probably why I'm starting to see it more. Alright, let's get a dance. Let's see what happens. Hit the Ground Shaker. Yeah, we'll play the Ground Shaker down. It does clear the Verdant Force, but again, like a power-up, if a power-up shows up, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. And this deck, if this is the Cappuccino variant, runs like 9 power-ups or something ridiculous like that. Elderwood Embrace, once again, just really making it difficult for me to... Well, actually, this is actually one case where Elderwood Embrace isn't that bad for me, because I can now Garadan at least, but... Oh man, if this gets powered up again, I probably just lose, but luckily for me, it did not. So, I'll take the Windfall. Let's slow down the land development here. I'll take Garadan and just finish off both of these creatures. But I'm still not out of the woods. One big creature could be a problem. So say another Verdant Force is a big problem. Well, any real creature that has over 6 life is an issue for me. It's probably just going to be a Faeria Golem. Okay. Ancient Boar. The Cappuccino's build does run free... It runs like free Emperor's Command, so pre-hitting this is actually super dangerous. I need Faeria, I need to be able to collect, so I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to +1 and I'm going to go into the Ogre Battler. Garadan is currently my win condition. I want to get up here and I want to start hitting that orb. And just try and hold off my opponent with this Ogre Battler. Another Boar. Another Faeria Golem. Thinking about the pre-hit here. Okay. Okay, so if I can clear this, I can come back and pre-hit the Faeria Golem. Then I just wait and then go for the Ogre Battler on the follow-up. But having this being able to double collect for me every turn is very important. Let's take a draw. Let's try and get a bargain card. Divine Guardian, that's actually pretty good. Okay. I'm happy to roll the Divine Guardian. I can stick Divine Guardian somewhere here. Somewhere out of the way. Maybe I even try and race my opponent at this point. And then just hide behind the Divine Guardian. Hits me for 5. Another forest. 7 forests so far. Is there Oak Father in this? Maybe we'll even see Tree of Everlife. That's something to consider. Just thinking about whether wants to punch my face or not. There's not much else going on really, Faeria Golem. I mean, you could collect a Faeria instead, but I think the 5 damage is a bit more worthwhile here. Five damage. What's going to happen to this little piggy? Just going to stay there? Okay. Alright, we're racing, guys. We're trying something different. In the last 2 games, we've just been defending and not really had an opportunity to try and win the game ourselves. So now we're taking this opportunity, and hopefully the combination of Divine Guardian and Empress Command is going to be enough to just allow me to heal, you know, stay alive long enough to win the race. Sky Whale? Yeah, okay, it's going to be a Sky Whale. Swallows up my taunt. Okay, so Divine Guardian is pretty good here. Let's stick it over here. And now I have lethal. Should have moved. Oh no. I should have moved. So now I need to Emperor's Command this. Yeah, I made a bit of a mistake there. I needed to move out of reach of this, so I need to move here. Because it's Garadan who's going to finish things off for me anyway. So yeah, I needed to move. I think that, yeah, that was a massive... I didn't consider the mobility of this, actually. I needed to shimmy to the side, hit the orb, and that kind of just sets up lethal for me. But now 1 power up and my Garadan's dead, and so is my hope. This guy, I'm kind of riding on this Garadan, so yeah, a big mistake for me here. Oh man, this matchup just gets to me. So yeah, I needed to move. Moving here would have put me out of reach of the Sky Whale. Oh, it's not coming after me. Okay. So I'm expecting maybe Runin's Command just to heal. And put me down to 1 life is actually a little worse, because it's much easier to kill me. Living Willow. I didn't have enough Faeria set up lethal anyway. I needed 1 more. Oh, this game's gone. This game has just gone all wrong. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do here. Yeah, this matchup's just so bad. I don't know. I played poorly there, I think. But it's just such a scramble for this deck to deal with mono green. So now that mono green is becoming more popular, I don't know if it is as a result of this deck being featured on the ladder more, we're going to have to change decks, because I've played against, 3 mono greens during this episode, and yeah, I'm not going to win this matchup. I don't know how to play this matchup just yet, or the deck's just not good enough to be able to get a consistent win ratio against this mono green. So a little unfortunate there that Gemshell is actually going to have to be shelved for a little while until mono green cycles out of the meta, and then I can maybe bring it back. But thank you very much for watching. I know this episode has been quite painful, just watching me getting bopped by mono green and making a few mistakes along the way, but no, I think I've learned from them, and that's always the most important thing when you're playing. Just learn from your mistakes and try not to repeat them in the future. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Yeah, there's some previous episodes of Blue Red Gemshell, so if you'd like to check them out, I have played this deck for 4 episodes now. So I'm going to retire it and move on to a new deck next week. And hopefully, during those 3 episodes, that'll give us enough time to hit God rank. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Blue Red Gemshell.